Welcome, everybody. Here we are on Friday, January 21st, and this is our fourth of four sessions in which I've been describing my journey from being in a place of mostly reactivity or too much reactivity to mostly allowing. And I described some of my experiences with reactivity and how there was a time when I was in a highly reactive mode and not even aware that that was happening, to now being in a place where there's much more allowing, a lot less reactivity. And the allowing is very much for me about feeling in alignment with how the world is unfolding, even though I have no control over how the world is unfolding. And we talked on Wednesday about these various external realities that are going on all the time that have both this long-term perspective in which we can see a very positive trajectory for things like consciousness and human well-being and reduction of violence and reduction of poverty and disease and extending of life, the length of life. While within those long-term trends are many, many specific experiences that are in fact part of the progression, and also experiences that feel like regression. And it has helped me immensely to take this bigger perspective and realize that not only is it all beyond my control, but it's unfolding as it is as a result of causes and conditions. And so that then raises the question of, am I simply a helpless bystander to all of this? Or is there some way that I can show up that will be meaningful, that might make a difference? And so this raises the question of this phrase, what is mine to do? And I have to thank a close friend of Kay's and a longtime colleague of ours and a person many of you know, Peggy Siegel, for this phrase, what is mine to do? And much of what I'll describe about the process of sorting out what's mine to do comes from her work. So instead of being in this place of feeling overwhelmed by these external realities, feeling as if it's just way too much, as if it's so much beyond my control, I ask myself, how can I show up in a way that does in fact make a difference? Regardless of, I think this, let me phrase it this way. This question of what is mine to do, how can I make a difference, applies to us regardless of whether we're a person of means, of whether or not we are a person of some clear, high-level influence, or regardless of how old we are. We keep showing up, and it keeps making a difference. So I'd like to invite us today to engage in a couple of reflections around this process of sorting out what is mine to do, and ask you to begin by simply gathering your attention inward, just taking a moment and noticing your breathing and what's going on inside you, and simply being an observer of it. Just allowing your attention to gather in this place, in this moment. And as you do, selecting one of these external realities, such as political divisiveness, what's going on with the economy, social justice, healthcare, or any other external reality that you're very attuned to, that you care about, that you feel as if you have an interest in. And focusing on some aspect of how it is right now, how that external reality is, that produces some triggering or reactivity in you. It produces some concern and anxiety. Paying attention to what that anxiety is and how it shows up. And now asking yourself a broader question. What matters most to me about this issue? Why am I attuned to it? How is it that I'm even triggered by it? What matters to me about this issue? You might even tune in to how the four conditions of being human show up in you. And let that offer some guidance as to how you care about it. And now stepping into this external reality or issue a little bit deeper, shifting away from the cognitive and inquiring, what touches my heart about this issue? How is my heart? How is my deepest emotions and caring, inclination to be kind, affected by this issue? And as a result of these inquiries, now step back and notice how you're relating to this issue. Stepping into this observer role that we spend so much time cultivating in mindfulness. Simply observing the thoughts, emotions, and sensations that are present. And in this observer role, seeing if you can shift from this place of reactivity and triggering to a place of allowing, in which you're embracing both the long-term trajectory and whatever you're concerned about at the moment, that you're able to hold these two perhaps seemingly paradoxical ideas simultaneously. We're allowing. And now bringing your attention back to this moment in the group. I read something the other day which was a very powerful reminder to me that whether I'm intentional about it or not, I'm constantly showing up. Obviously here this morning in this particular role. I was in a meeting yesterday afternoon with people. I spent time interacting with Kay. I had a long phone conversation with Matt yesterday afternoon. These are all places where I'm showing up as part of daily life. And in all of those situations, we're making an impact. Just by showing up, just by being there, just by interacting, we're making an impact. And the question that comes up for me is, do I want to have that impact be a default of instinct and habit? Or do I want it to be intentional? What are my intentions for how I show up? Knowing that whenever I'm showing up, I'm having some kind of an impact. Each of us always has a part to play. And so showing up skillfully is mostly about sensing a need in some area. Sensing a need that I have, sensing a need that another has, and aligning how I'm showing up with what that need is and what my skills are, what my capabilities are, what I have to offer. Being intentional. So let's go back into reflection mode here again, and I'll ask a few more questions. Sticking with this external reality that you care about, what need do you sense is out there? Without regard to you, what need do you sense is out there? Just the need itself. And now thinking about your own skills and knowledge and resources. Each of us have skills, knowledge, and resources that we've built up, in some cases very intentionally, in other cases they've just come to us over time. We each have something to offer. What's the alignment between what needs to be done and what you have to offer? And now inviting all of you to just close your eyes for a moment so that you can really tune in to what's happening inside. Imagine yourself in some circumstance in which you're offering up your skills or knowledge or resources to align with this need. Choosing some specific way of doing that. Really focus on the specifics of this experience. Who's present? What's happening? What are you doing? And now turning your attention to your body. What are you noticing in your body as you envision this experience of your aligning with what's needed? Is there a sense of ease and energy? Or is there tension and anxiety? And of course, we can experiment with different ways of showing up, of different ways of offering up our skills and knowledge and resources. And for each one, we can check in and let our bodies tell us what is mine to do. This is a situation in which our bodies are highly reliable sources of important information. All of our deeper capacity in knowing, tapping into all of the resources we have, can allow us to be more discerning about what is mine to do. So opening your eyes and coming back to the group. What I love about this approach is that it's not in the territory of our feeling forced or being pushed or somebody demanding that we do something. There are many times in which we can perceive a need, and we know deep inside ourselves that we have some combinations of skills and knowledge and resources that align with the need. And then we check in with ourselves and see whether there's anxiety and tension or whether there's ease. And many times, even though there's a high degree of alignment, we discover for some unknown reason this is not mine to do at this time. And pushing ourselves to do something that is not mine to do is not good for us, and it's not good for anybody else. So this experience has walked you through a big territory today. And I wouldn't expect you to be able to grasp, to remember all of this and hold on to it. But if something comes up in the not too distant future in which you have this question, is this mine to do? You might listen to this recording and walk through this process again. And let your body give you this information, be a real resource for you. What we're looking for here is a quality of alignment and allowing. This deeper knowing that we all have the capacity for and we all have access to, even though we may not realize it. So here's the reflection question for this morning. After these 2, 3, or 4 sessions, whichever number you happen to be participating in, about this journey from reactivity, too much reactivity, to mostly allowing, how are you now relating to personal alignment and allowing? How are you feeling about them? How might they show up in your life? We have all of these things going on externally in our lives. And the question is, how do we relate to them? Are we caught up in denial, in resistance, in wishing things other than they are? Or are we willing to be present and engaged? Do we have some capacity for allowing?